Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here, and you are very welcome, my friends. Guess what? Yes, the Captain Marvel reviews are in. It's sitting on 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. It started on about 91%. Should we read some of these reviews, or kind of little captions of them anyway, which Rotten Tomatoes kindly gives us? What's more interesting than the splats is actually what's on the phrase, the paraphrasing of the ones that are voted fresh. It's like they don't want to say anything horrible, but they didn't actually like the movie. This is not just me saying this. I'll read you some of these in a minute. So let's read the splat first. Good thing it's still March. Captain Marvel would have made a weak start to the summer blockbuster season. I don't really want to read the full review. I could if I wanted to, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. Let's read a fresh one. Let's be balanced here. You could ding it for convoluted plotting and retro style that flattens the usual Marvel fireworks, but a dynamite Brie Larson gives hell to cosmic villains and sexist trolls, and an origin feline named Goose is the best movie cat ever. As I said yesterday, imagine being a lead of a film, a human being that's outperformed and outdone by a cat, because this is exactly what happens in this film. Hilarious, Peter Travers. I think you're taking the piss, mate, aren't you? Right, here's a splat from David Eric. Neither a blast from the past nor an inspiring glimpse into the future at the end of the day. It's just another Marvel movie, correct, and not a particularly good one at that. Right. Now here's one by Anne Horrelday. This is fresh, shaky and focused. As Captain Marvel often seems, it manages to reach its destination with confidence. In the end, Larson sticks the landing, a bit with something more muted than absolute triumph. This is brilliant. This is brilliant by Hornaday. Now, this is a fresh. This one's been voted fresh. And this is interesting. She doesn't like this film, but it gets a fresh rating. Let's just go back to this, because this is not a splat, which I want to see. This is negativity, kind of garnished, right? As shaky and unfocused as Captain Marvel often seems. That's obviously what you think, right? It manages to reach its destination with confidence. In the end, Larson sticks the landing, a bait with something more muted than absolute triumph. In other words, let me translate this. This is brilliant. As shaky and unfocused as Captain Marvel often seems. Basically, I don't really like the film. It manages to reach its destination. So basically, it does what it needs to do, even though I don't like the film, right? We reach this destination with confidence. What does that even mean? You basically don't like the film. In the end, Larson sticks the landing. Now listen to this. A bait with something more muted than absolute triumph. So you didn't like her performance, but you say she stuck the landing. So basically, she delivered her lines well, but it wasn't a triumphant performance. Basically, you didn't like the movie, Anne. You didn't like the performance, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious. And this is what happens. This is why you can't trust them. Listen to this. This is another fresh. This is brilliant. A plucky and pleasing, if predictable excursion that burns brightly, if briefly. So basically, you didn't like the film either, Katie Walsh Tribune News Service, did you? Really? Let's be honest. Top critic. All right, let's just read another fresh. An MCU future centered on Carol Danvers could be a bright one indeed. But as Captain Marvel reminds us, especially with its haunting glimpse at the haircuts of 1995, haunting, eh? Some past needs to be overcome on the way to greatness. Oh dear. Oh dear, 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 dear. Listen to this. This is funny. When Neymar, because I'm going to read the fresh ones as well, right? Because it's only fair. We are still at the point where the visuals of such a powerful female hero are rare enough that its sheer existence makes you giddy. So basically, it's a load of crap, but it's there. So, hey, it's good, isn't it? Right, this is Ciaran Kerr, right? Film bunker, right? Captain Marvel She's not a top critic, but I'll read it. It's a fresh. Captain Marvel has given us an engaging female character that does not come off as an empty agenda. Yes, it does. Larson's magnetic performance paired with an entertaining buddy cop romp and some character moments makes this another strong entry into the MCU. And here's a splat. Captain Marvel effectively makes feminism a target, a goal to be achieved in ways that feel more self-congratulatory, I can't read it, but you know what I mean, than progressive Radhian, I can't read that name now, Toronto. Right, this is a fresh Fred Topple. Brie Larson was already my hero before Captain Marvel, so this is only reconfirmed the obvious. Oh dear, this is so funny. Right, let's have a look if there's any more on here, because there was. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at more, because there is more. Christian Torto, HollywoodInto.com. It's awoke as star Brie Larson's press push. Basically, right. As I say, it is kind of interesting, really. I think I've read enough of these for now, but it is very interesting. I feel, because this is why I read a lot of the fresh ones, and there is a lot of splats. There is a lot of splats in there. There's probably just as many splats than there is fresh. That's amazing for an MCU movie. And as I said on my video yesterday, it's more interesting to read the fresh ratings than it is the rotten ratings, the splats, because actually the fresh ratings have negativity garnished with positivity. Nobody actually, look, the top critics didn't like this film, but they don't want to vote it down because they can't. You see, what's happened is top sites and top critics have put themselves in an uncomfortable situation especially with the MCU, because from Avengers Assemble, they were so glowing, naturally glowing, because that was a really good film. They got themselves in a bit of a muddle. So it's now be positive about the MCU or die. The truth is, nobody likes this film. Nobody likes Larson. But everyone in critical media can't do that. They can't hang themselves out to dry because Disney are a big ass corporation and they take things personally. You're not allowed. This is the problem. We're not in a democracy anymore, people. You're not allowed to speak your true opinion. This isn't the 80s when Barry Norman used to do film whatever on BBC and he could be blatantly honest about blockbusters. This is the thing. You either promote a film positively or you die as a critic or a site. And here lies the problem. Basically, Captain Marvel is an ordinary, generic movie. It's okay. It's entertaining in places. Larson delivers her lines, and that's that. It's a very, very forgettable film. The top critics know it. I know it, and you know it. And so there you are. As I said yesterday, the box office will be interesting. I expect it to have a really, really good opening weekend, but it will slowly drop off really, really big. You know, the drop-off will be telling. That's when you know. So, you know, the shill media will be very excited about the opening. But as you'll notice, when it comes to the drop-off, you'll hear nothing from them. Nothing. They'll tell you, but they'll spin everything. This is where we are. We are literally in Nazi Germany now with propaganda. So this film could have been as a big, big success story like Wonder Woman was. But Disney decided to get Brie Larson to push this in an authoritarian, passive-aggressive manner, and it hasn't worked. And I'll say again, it is comparable with Wonder Woman. You know, first female-led superhero movie, Wonder Woman's promoted with love and acceptance, a place for everyone, where you've got Brie Larson pretty much saying, well, I want to accept people, but not white dudes. It's kind of, you know, there's room for everyone here, but because white dudes' ancestors weren't very nice people and they didn't give everyone a chance, we want to take it out on the modern men of today. So it's, you know, so SJW Hollywood isn't a place for everyone. They decide who they accept and they decide who they reject. That's not really representation, Brie and Disney. That's not the way it works. And this is why Wonder Woman, at the end of the day, Wonder Woman made around 800 million globally, I think. It'll be very, very interesting if Brie Larson's Captain Marvel can top that. I would expect it to, because it's a Marvel movie. It's the most successful IP right now. If it doesn't get to what Wonder Woman got, I expect it to, by the way, I really do, because of the IP it's involved with nothing to do with Larson. But I expect this film to be really, really successful. But if it doesn't, it's going to be very, very embarrassing for Disney. So as I say, listen, personally, I'd love this film to fail, but I just can't see it failing. I just can't see it. It's a precursor to the most anticipated CBM of all time. It's just not going to happen. But would I laugh my guts out if it did fail after the rude and arrogant way Disney and Larson have conducted themselves? Absolutely, I would love it. It's just not going to happen, unfortunately. But don't worry, Disney, Marvel Studios and Brie Larson will get theirs. The failure will be there, because this film isn't going to make the money it was going to be. So I expect it to do okay. I expect it to do well, but I think there will be a big drop-off, and it's not going to make the money they thought it was going to make, they hoped it was going to make. You see, SJW Hollywood are quite happy to lose money just to put their passive aggressive representational message across, and that's fine if they were actually being representational, but they're discriminating against white men. They're saying everyone else, you can come, not you, you've had your piece of the pie, go away. That's not how love and representation and acceptance works, I'm afraid. And this is why fandoms are split into, why Hollywood films are in such trouble right now. And until people understand, studios understand and networks understand that this is not how you do it, we're going to be in the same situation for a very long time.